there is a lot, and even in our own community can be a little bit, what's that? What does that mean? Yeah, so we would usually hear, our community in general would usually hear LGBTI, or LGBTIQ. So that stands for lesbian, gay, bi, transgender, queer and intersex. But as many would know, there's many other acronyms. A for agender or asexual, whawhaiwhine, akaiwhine, those are our island's definitions, our cultural definitions, in terms of identifying as takatahui or their own rainbowness. That's what I like to call it, rainbowness. So there's heaps. Queer is a generic term. And a lot of our rangatahi that are coming through now are looking at identifying themselves in their own rainbowness and what that means in our current times. So lots to learn even for us. Well, kia ora, I'm Hamie, and I'm one of 4 of our Flat Out Pride whānau, I would like to call ourselves, and we air on Fridays at 5. On Free FM 89.0, of course. We do news, views and interviews for and about our Glit Fab Rainbow community, so there's those acronyms again. Content that is relevant to us, that is for us, about us, and plugging out to our community. Ideally, the whānau that either don't have, out in the rural areas, that may not have access to internet or a computer, they might be able to hear about us and connect to maybe the stories or the information that we're sharing. We'd like to reach across the international waters as well. For those community members that maybe are marginalised and are living in secret in their own countries, we know that a lot of countries throughout the world don't advocate, don't support, and don't even legalise being in their rainbowness. So we'd like to just reach them and get them to hear and connect to stories and information that is relative to them too. It may not be culturally, but give them a sense that they're not alone in this big world, because for some people they could be isolated in a very small space. And just to hear or to be able to podcast people talking about being themselves and sharing stories about others that they can relate to is pretty vital. Yeah. Rangatahi, most especially our youth. Some of them are unsupported by their own families. They might have a group of friends. They may be having a hard time in schools. So for them to hear that there's a space on the airwaves that they can connect to, hear about, and again, not feel alone, not feel isolated, and maybe, again, relate to those stories, connect to the support systems that maybe they didn't know about and that they can get support from. So yeah, it's all of those scopes. Well, first I want to acknowledge the people that actually set up Flat Out Pride. They were here probably 7 to 8 years, long before I came along. So I need to acknowledge them. They paved the way, like many of the people way back to the law reform, even way back further than that. We're going to acknowledge the past to be in the present and all to know where we're going to as well. So in terms of the future, wow, our Flat Out Pride whānau. So there's 4 of us. 3 of us are active in the whānau and on the airwaves out in our community. We're looking at vamping up the sound that you're going to hear on Flat Out Pride. We're looking at bringing some snappy, fun, informative segments into our show. We also wanted to link into the new initiative that Free FM has in terms of visualising the visual aspect of radio and keeping our content fresh, upbeat and relevant, more so relevant. Yeah, that's what we're up to. But you've got to tune in to know more. No mai hoki mai hara mai whānau ki te Flat Out Pride Hour here on Free FM, independent community media. You're tuned in with ADH on the mic for your Funky Friday.